Chapter 16 The Lucky Ones. Don't you care? Demanded Toby. You just wouldn't believe the things that are being said about you and this non-charm business. Ah, it doesn't mean anything, said Alex. I got to practice some charm. Toby was rattling with the vending machine in the main corridor. He rattled it furiously, then gave it a hefty kick, but it still refused to relinquish either the chocolate or his thread. Why doesn't this darn thing ever work? He said crossly. Because people keep kicking it, said Alex. Look, do you mind getting a move on? I'm not to do this luncheon. Don't remind me, said Toby soberly. Oh, come on then. I just need a quick lift. Then you can go and make a fool of yourself. Toby led the way to the home economics room, and he unlocked the door to the pantry. The cake was finally finished, and it stood there dominating the whole room. A masterpiece of delicate design. Very carefully, they lifted it between them and carried it to the table that had been set up at the front of the room. Delia had suggested that it be displayed there until the wedding, so everybody could see it, as it had been the talk of the school for weeks, as had Alex dancing in the gym every lunchtime, swathed in an enormous black cloak. He glanced at Toby and sighed at his sad expression. Look, Toby, Maxie can't help being an idiot. He's just made that way, he said. If I don't let it get to me, why does it bother you? Because I'm your friend, and it drops off, said Toby. Anyway, I know it upsets you. I've seen the look in your eyes. He's not bothering you, is he? Oh, nothing I can handle, said Toby. He's hardly going to try anything physical with me. He's got to prove by beating me up? Said Alex, looking half unhappy. Listen, Toby, if he does bother you, you better let me know. Why? What are you going to do? Dance around here? Toby said. I'd do better going to Henry. Henry doesn't take any prisoners. Oh, yes, Henry, said Alex. Is that still going on? Certainly it's still going on, said Toby. We're going to that new Japanese restaurant on Friday. Alex smiled. I might have known, he said. You know what I said about you not being normal? What about it? Well, you're not, said Alex. But when I look at this, he gestured to the cake, I can understand a bit more. I mean, to create something like that, it's all right, said Toby offhandedly. You're kidding? It's perfect. Oh no, said Toby. I only wish it was. Look here. He pointed. Do you see that edge there? The marzipan shows in through. I can see anything. I can. Henry can, said Toby. I'll be honest. If I have the time, I strip all the icing off and start again. No one's going to notice. I'll notice, said Toby. Look, when you're sketching, the spectators don't usually notice if you go wrong, do they? They do if you fall down. But usually you manage to cover it, don't you? Of course. But it still annoys you. Yeah. And you'll try and make sure it doesn't happen next time. I guess Alex admitted. Well then, said Toby. We both artists, Alex. Only with me. When you're finished admiring, you get to eat your mistakes. Paula Wallis knocked on Miss Robinson's door and at her call went inside. Ah, Paula. Yes, come and sit down, said Miss Robinson, but her most friendly. I'm sorry there's no sign of your curtain, said Paula. We looked everywhere. Oh well, never mind. Miss Robinson glanced behind her where the one black curtain was now stretched to cover the whole window. I still can't understand it. Who would want to steal a single curtain? I can't imagine, said Paula, studying her fingernails. It disappeared the night of the Valentine's dance, said the principal. I'm beginning to think it must have been one of the boys playing the fool. Anyway, I did send for you to talk about my curtain. How are you progressing with Samantha Stevens? Very well, said Paula. She's actually a very nice person when you get through that tough outer shell. Oh yes, I'm sure she is. How about the dancing lessons? Are you copying? Paula sighed. To be honest, it's killing me. I thought you liked dancing. Well, more watching dancing, said Paula. Oh, I suppose I'm enjoying it in a masochistic fashion. So you think she should soon start settling in them? Who? Samantha, said Paula, surprised. That is who we're talking about, isn't it? Yes, miss, but I'm sorry, Samantha won't said to here in here. There's no chance of that at all. Oh, I thought she seemed to be getting along a lot better recently. She goes to lessons, she's taken up swimming, and there's the cycling. I see her on that funny bike of hers every lunchtime, cycling up and down the drive here as if she were practicing for the Tour de France. Paula sighed. Her bike's only funny because she's taken the saddle up of it, said Paula. It helps to keep her skating muscles firm. No, Samantha's only waiting until her father gives in. There's no way she's ever going to give up skating. And if she doesn't give in, she waits until she's 16, then run away. She had her mate what occurred. Well, she waits till she's 18 then, or 30, if necessary, said Paula. I'll be honest, I admire her. I never met anyone with such strong ambition before. Miss Donation nodded. Paula, if you do go into teaching as you are planning, you will meet others like Samantha, she said. We had quite a number here. Not for skating though. We had one girl who did nothing but sit in her room playing her guitar all day. She's in a pop group now, and riding, that's a popular one. We had quite a few girls who loved horses. Oh, Samantha's not that unusual. A bit stronger than normal, perhaps. They're the lucky ones, I always think. They know exactly what they are going to do with their lives. I'm sorry if this sounds rude, but couldn't you tell her father that? I have, said the principal. She's much too worried about her health to listen. You are still taking her temperature before every dance session? Yes, I never miss. Good, so it's just a question of us keeping an eye on her until she sorts things out with her parents. I think so. I see. Well, I might have quiet work with her mother. She seems more down to earth about Samantha, says Miss Donation. Right now, Paula, I asked you to look after Samantha for 2 months, and that time was up a week ago. Do you want to hand her over to another one of the prefects? Oh no, said Paula hurriedly. I don't mind at all. It's a lot of work, Paula. And your exams are quite soon, remember. I couldn't walk away from her now. You had to go out with her on Saturdays as well, don't you? Yes, but I love that ballet, said Paula. All right then, Paula, if you're sure, said Miss Donation. Thankfully, Paula stood up and opened the door. Oh, just a talk, Paula. The principal stopped her. Yes, Miss Donation? You don't think Samantha could have taken my curtain, do you? No, I don't think so. I mean, she's certainly capable of it, especially if it was anything to do with sketching. But I can't see what she did it for. Chapter 17. Sketching into chapel. Alex held the cloak outstretched as they rounded the end of the arch for the last time. Slowly, they came to their dramatic ending, and this time it was perfect. He let the cloak drop and she regarded him, her eyes shining. I think that should do, she said quietly. It's about time. We only got 1 more week, said Alex. The juniors are a week this Saturday. But now we know we can do it. It worked on the day. You'll see, she said. Now I think we better run through the compulsory dances, don't you? It's all very well winning the free, but if we fall down on the compulsories, it's near us so far behind, we never catch up. Okay, said Alex wearily. He hated the regulations of the compulsories. He undid the cloak and dumped it down by his boss's back. Careful, she said. I want to put it back one day. I thought you said it was just some material that no one wanted, she said. She deliberately became vague. I'm not sure those are the exact words I used, she said. Then to change the subject, come on, let's get some ice. It was Tuesday morning and at last everything seemed to be coming together. The compulsory dances for the juniors were almost second nature. And now, for the first time, the free dance had felt really good. They skated for another half an hour and Alex let his momentum take him to a hole by his boss's back. She will be finished by now, he said. I want her to watch us run through our free. I mean, we don't really know how it looks, do we? Samantha didn't answer. She was staring across the ice to the other side of the ring. Alex followed her gaze. The last girls he danced with at a party was standing there with a woman he hadn't seen before. Who's the woman? He asked. Miss Glegg. The sports teacher, said Samantha. Oh no, he said. Samantha gave herself a mental shake. Alex, I'll have to go over to them. They mustn't see the cloak, she said. I'll come with you, he said. Samantha tapped Fouquet's lips for a moment and she reached for his hand. Thanks, she said quietly, then she sighed. You can, Alex. Mariana probably hasn't recognized you from this far. She normally wears glasses. If they find out it's you would, it would only make more trouble. Look, I'll handle it. Quickly she unlaced her skates and left them with him. Then she made her way around the ice. Alex watched her go, a troubled look on his face. Samantha looked Marilla up and down contemptuously. Nice one, Marilla, she said. You make a real good slick. Now, Samantha, that's enough of that, said Miss Glegg sharply. Marilla didn't know you were here. She's the monitor in charge of the swimming party, and she was worried where you got to. Even you don't believe that, said Samantha. I was just doing my job, says Marilla. Yes, of course you were, Marilla, said Miss Glegg. Now you go and gather all the others up. Yes, Miss Glegg, said Marilla demurely. I don't get it, said Samantha when Marilla was out earshot. How can anyone like her be a favorite of yours? I don't have favorites, said Miss Glegg crossly. Marilla just happened to be a fine elf. Or what? Samantha found this funny. She shook her head. Well, come on then. Are you going to have me shot at dawn or what? It's not up to me what happens to you, said Miss Glegg. She nodded across the ice to where the figure of Alex was still watching. I take it that's the boy you've been forbidden to see. What? Oh, him? No. Alex is at my home drink, said Samantha. I got boys all over the place. I'm simply not to be trusted. Miss Glegg sighed. Come on then, Samantha. We better be getting back, she said. Miss Rollinson will want to speak to you. Something to look forward to, said Samantha bleakly. The couch in the Barneses lounge was hard when Alex grabbed down last night. He fidgeted, then sat up to look at the time. It was 1 o'clock. He lay down again knowing he wasn't going to get a wink of sleep. But of course he went out like a light. Fate let him have 3 whole minutes before the phone, muffled by his pillow, shocked him back to life. Hastily he grabbed for the receiver. The last thing he needed was his parents coming downstairs. Sam, he gasped into the phone. The name Samantha, she said coldly. I'm so sorry. I'm not used to being aware this time of night, he said sarcastically. How was it? Well, I didn't get home. Dawn inquired. Not quite anyway, she said. To tell you the truth, Hitler didn't seem that cross. More, oh, I don't know, I suppose. What have they done to you? Oh, detention, stuff like that, she said offhandedly. I'm grounded, of course, but I was been for, so that doesn't matter. What does matter is that I'm not now out of school at all anymore. Not even on a Saturday? No, I tell you straight. If I was dying, they wouldn't even let me go to the hospital. Oh, he was silent for a moment while he talked. So what are we going to do? Forget the competition? We are not, she said. You're not serious after all our work. No, not really, he said. I was just thinking of you. I'll be alright, she said. Look, Alex, we just had to practice on our own all week and hope it was on the day. That's what I'm worried about, he said. How you going to go out late Saturday? I'm taking a tunnel, she said sarcastically. Oh, I'll manage somehow. What about that girl you're friendly with, Paula? That's the one. Does she get into trouble? Why should she? Said Samantha. She only knew about Saturdays anyway, and she thought they were more to meet you. She is prefect, isn't he? Yes, wasn't she mad? She presented Chewie, but she wouldn't stop laughing. Said Samantha. Now listen, Alex. I can't stay here too long. The caretaker sometimes walks around late at night. Where are you phoning from? Hitler's study. Her principal study? Said Alex incredulously. It's the place I know best, she said. Anyway, I mailed my costume to Toby in case it falls into enemy hands. You just make sure you bring it with you on the day. Of course, said Alex. I thought they check all their mail. They do. I'll make friends with the paper boy. He does stuff like that for me, she said. I think he's got a huge crush on me. I'm sure he will, Sarah, said Alex coldly. Look, am I going to get any flack from your principal? Don't think so, said Samantha. Actually, I think she wants to keep it quiet about me getting all that is. It doesn't make her look too good, does it? Don't worry, I'll keep you out of it. I didn't mean that, said Alex hastily. What I'm thinking is that we don't need my mom and dad trying to stop us from its end too. No, she said. Look, I better go now. Okay, I can go back to Belgium, she said. Where you call again? We settled everything, haven't we? Oh yes, he said. There was a brief silence. Then, I'm not seeing you for 10 days then. 11, actually. Okay then, I'll see you in 11 time, he said. Yeah, she said. I thought it'd be an idea to keep in touch just in case. Yes, he said, smiling to himself just in the case.